I've got a couple of my favorite Dizzy Pig seasonings I want to talk about today because I'm getting ready to cook dinner and I'm going to use them both. I wanted to show these to you. These are the two primary beef rubs that we think for Dizzy Pig. There's a lot of them that are very flexible and work on pretty much anything, but when you're thinking a big piece of beef, these are the two that you really think about a lot. First off is raising the steaks. Raising the steaks is one of the original Dizzy Pig blends. This was done by Mike Kerslick, who was a co-founder of Dizzy Pig, and Mike is actually a Canadian, so he made a Canadian-style seasoning. Now, so think about the Canadian Montreal seasonings you see at the store. Everybody kind of likes those. But now let's think about that if you made it with freshly ground spices and really thought about high-quality ingredients and how you were going to blend it. And, you know, that's what you have here. So this is just a superior Canadian-style steak seasoning. But it works on briskets as well, and roasts, and anything beef-related. Burgers. I put some on my burgers last night, as a matter of fact. This spice here, this blend right here, actually is a little bit, has the first ingredient is salt. Out of 27 Dizzy Pig spice blends, this is the only one that has the first ingredient that's salt. First ingredient is the one that has the most in there. This is the only one. Now, because it's a big steak beef rub, that makes sense to us. But the rest of them, this is the only one. Think about that. Take a look at all your other spice blends you have in the cabinet and see where salt comes in. It's pretty much first on just about all of them. It's not how it is at Dizzy Pig. But this one needs it, and it's a good fit. The other one is cowlick. Now, this is also a pretty early Dizzy Pig spice blend. This one Chris did, and this one Chris has used a lot over the years on his briskets in competition. Chris has got a pretty storied competition career of himself. We don't think about him that way all the time because we're so used to seeing this and he's so interesting and progressive, but Chris has won 15 grand championships, and a lot of times they use this on their briskets, I guarantee it. So the cowlick, now this is very much about the pepper. It's a real peppery blend. It's black pepper and a lot of ground chilies and that kind of stuff, garlic. And it's real different, actually. Now, this one does not have salt as the first ingredient. Matter of fact, it is the third ingredient, which is pretty unusual for any barbecue rub. So I like to blend two rubs a lot, no matter what I'm doing. And in this case, this is exactly what I'm going to do. And I think the combination, this one's a little bit finer, a little bit more peppery. So I'm going to put that on first. And then this one's got a little more chunky to it, a little seeds and stuff, like a Montreal seasoning. And it's a little saltier. And I think the combination is going to be great on this prime rib that I'm cooking for dinner tonight. So I got this thing. It's a 2-bone piece, not too big. Me and Sandy and a little bit of leftovers will probably work out for that. And I'm going to season it up now. I'm going to cook it in a couple hours. I'll try to post pictures later on, but I'm not going to come back with a video about taking it off the cooker. I'm going to cook it, when I cook prime rib, I cook it just like I do in the oven. 325 on my egg or whatever smoker grill you're using. I like just the charcoal flavor for me. If you want to add some wood flavor to it, that's fine for you. I think the charcoal gives it plenty of flavor. That's enough for me. Whatever works best for you. But I like to cook them at 325. I just don't see any reason to cook it slow. It kind of gets a different texture. Let's get it done, and you get a nicer crust at that temp. So, internal temp, what's the doneness for prime rib? It depends how you're cooking it. For me, when I'm cooking it at 325 on my egg, 120 for internal temperature is the right temperature. And then I'm going to rest it at least a half hour. So if you're cooking hot like I am, 325, and you're resting it for a full half hour, 120 is a good temp. If you're cooking a different way, you're going to have to guess. But it'll be in that 120 to 125 range probably. Just a little bit of oil. This is corn oil. Use what you like. In my kitchen, I usually have corn oil and olive oil. Depending on what I'm doing, I use it. No reason to use the extra virgin olive oil for something like this. It's really just to help hold the spice on. It'll give it a nice finish too when it's finished. Nice finish when it's finished. All right, first the cowlick. And don't forget, like this rub and almost all the Dizzy Pig rubs are really low in salt, so you can put quite a bit on and not worry about over salting. You know, some of the stuff, some of these spices out there, if you put a lot on, you're going to get a lot of salt and a lot of other stuff that you don't necessarily want a lot of. Nice coating of cowlick. You can smell the pepper. You can see it. Freshly ground. These things are always freshly ground right before they go in the package. And then this is the raising the steaks. You can see it's got a whole different look. This one you might have to press it on a little bit because I've kind of sucked up all the oil with the other one. But it'll stick on there. And I'm giving this plenty of time. I'm going to let this sit on the counter for probably an hour before I cook it. That's it. I'm going to let those sit there for an hour. I'm going to cook it at 325 till it's 120. I'm going to let it have a half-hour rest, and it's going to be perfect. This is my little clicker. If you're always wondering what I'm doing, this is my little clicker to turn the camera off.